Hello everyone, PLG here, and welcome to another episode of something I've not released for a very long time. And yes, that is in fact another episode of my mods showcase. So that is of course the Otherworldly Apotheosis mod. So this time we'll be going through the second part of Act 2, and by second part I mean of course from Upper Kurast to, well, Mephisto himself. Now, as for why I haven't been uploading videos for so long, well, the reason is quite simple. If you remember my last character, it looked kind of different, and that is for one reason. This character right over here is a completely different character. Why is that? Because that other character did not survive the version change. Just overall it started to crash the game a lot more with, well, every single time I played it, and it got to so far that I couldn't even exit the game without it crashing. Not to mention the fact that level editing was going horrendously, at least. Well, it's probably mostly due to the fact that I was, well, changing the versions of the game, but yes, now we're on a new character, and for now there won't be any new super uniques present because, well, the level editing is being done on a separate installation this time while keeping this one safe and sound. So let's get straight to the place where we're supposed to go, so Upper Kurast, of course. So in Upper Kurast I've added a couple of, well, new enemies. So one of course spawned in here. Amazing, we got the two most important ones I wanted to show off. So these of course are the Night Lords. We've seen them before in the dungeons, so they also spawn in here. And those skeletons, let me just clean up those Night Lords because they will be causing a lot of problems for me now. They're nothing, well, all that special, they're pretty much the same as an original game. I think I may have changed the resistances a bit. So the true cream of the top over here is those mages. Those are the Pestilence mages. So as you may guess, their poison is extremely potent. And by extremely potent I mean they literally use Andariel's attack, which can kill you, unlike normal poison. I mean, not the poison itself, but the attack can. So these guys are of course, well, supposed to be poison oriented. They're of course immune to poison on Nightmare, which I think they may even be immune to poison on normal, but I'm not sure. Wait a second, let me hide this. So yes, those guys, and to, well, further amplify the fact that their poison is more potent, they have red hands instead of green ones. So yes, once you kill them, they of course drop the poison cloud similarly to some of those, well, baskets and other chests, and also to the mummies from Act 2. And also I may die from some random attack now, because I am in fact poisoned to 1 HP. Yes, maybe we'll get to see the fact that I've also added the Temple Guardians here, but honestly I'm not too sure if they'll spawn this time. It's all dependent on how the game rolls the characters in here and the monsters in here, and I think it may not really roll those ones right now. So yes, also infested cold mages are here, because this is like, you know, the last big place before Travincal, so there should be some of those stronger variants in here, and like the cold variants are always, well, very strong. Okay, let me get rid of them. You know what, actually, why do I even care about those champion ones? Let's just go straight to the Kurast Causeway. Now here are very similar spawns, except for one additional enemy that can spawn in here, which is, oh, Koron? Amazing. Okay, one additional enemy that can spawn in here are the Flesh Lancers, which are normally unused, now they're used, and they spawn in the Kurast Causeway and in Travincal and in some parts of Act 4. I'll get to Act 4 near the end of this video because I mean it's not really for this video, more so for the next one. Now, did I get two? Yes, I got I think two elite groups of monsters in here. Just get some potions for later on in this testing. Okay. So, yeah, of course, the Kurast Causeway is still the Kurast Causeway. Not much spawns in here, and it's very, very small. So, yes, now we're in Travincal. Travincal has this very otherworldly purple atmosphere. And, well, those guys are the usual, but yes, we can see those. The Bloodlords now spawn here. Normally the Bloodlords were spawning in, I think, Durance of Hate level 3. Now they've been nerfed quite a bit, and instead they spawn in Travincal and Durance of Hate level 1 to 2. Because the Dark Lords, which are originally in levels 1 to 2, were moved to the temples in Kurast. There were some of those, well, there were quite a few of those changes all around. And as you may see, the Bloodlords now spawn Tormented Flesh as their minions, which are from, if you remember from the Act 2 episodes, they were spawning in the Canyon of the Magi in Act 2 and also in the Talrashar's Tomb. Now, another very important thing, once we get to the council members, take a quick look at their arms. More specifically, their mutated arms, where they have those funky crystals. If you look closely, this crystal is now blue instead of being red. And this change was made intentionally by me, so that they have a more canon appearance, I'd say, because before, well, always pretty much in Diablo, the council members' crystal on arm was supposed to be Mephisto's, a shard of Mephisto's soul stone. And if you've played Diablo 2 ever before, you may know that Mephisto's soul stone is supposed to be blue, not red as it was on the council member's arm. So yes, this is a change, a very small change, but I think it adds a lot more, well, canonicity, I'm not really sure how to describe it, to the council members. And yes, the council members in Act 5, the ones spawned by Bale, have a yellow crystal in their arm. Now, I have no idea where did Bale get his hands on those council members, but it's not really much of my problem because, after all, he does spawn them. So, I guess they are his own minions, not Bale's, not Mephisto's. So, yes, also unique monster colors now work on council members because I've added a color palette for them. Before they didn't have one. So in the meantime, while I'm cleaning out those council members and going to the Durance of Hate level 1, let me tell you for a second about some upcoming changes I haven't planned. One quite easy to do, but actually not all that time consuming, maybe one day, maybe a bit more of just sitting with it. And what I'm talking about is actually changing quite a few of the cube recipes. I want to do something very interesting when it comes to this, because if we look at the game, how it is right now, Act 1 is, you know, the introduction to the game, nothing really, well, important you take from there, except from, well, being introduced to the game. However, in Act 2, we do have something we get for the rest of the game. That is, of course, the cube. And it follows us, I'd say, on our journey throughout this game. And it's, of course, a very useful part of this game. I mean, there's so many things you can do with it, and you probably should do with it, that I mean, it just improves on the game quite a lot. However, other acts don't really have anything like this. I mean, yes, they do have some bosses, which is, you know, normal. I mean, you will probably return to Act 3 quite a lot for, you know, farming Mephisto, because his drops are usually quite great and not like Duriel's constant scrolls of town portal. However, Act 3 and Act 4 and, well, Act 5 don't really have anything that you can carry for the rest of your game, and I mean, like this staple part of it. So I've decided to add things like this to those acts, and those will be in the form of research trees, well, more so recipe trees for the cube. And what I mean by that is there will be three main ones. There will be an alchemy tree, which will allow you the crafting of more advanced potions. And yes, those potions will probably be removed from the shopkeepers. I mean, I think from like up from the health, the regular health potion to the, of course, super health potion, they won't be able to be bought from the vendors anymore. Instead, you will have to craft them for yourself using those well, items from this alchemy tree, which will be unlocked in the first tier, because there will be a couple of tiers for it. I mean, like, there will be the first tier will have like the basic healing potion and the lesser healing ones, and like, I mean, mana potions and stuff like this. Now, in the meantime, let's go to the Durance of Hate. So, yes, getting back to this, what I was talking about, the alchemy. Okay, so in Act 3, you will be getting like a couple of items regarding alchemy. Like, there will be the item salt, which yes, those three main items for alchemy will be based on actual alchemy, where there is like the concept of the three primes, something like this, if I remember correctly, where there is like the salt, which is representing the body, the physical kind of things. There is also mercury, which represents the spiritual part of things, and there is also like the sulfur, which represents the soul. So, as you may guess, salt will be an item you can collect from one of the super uniques in Act 3, and it will allow you the crafting of basic health potions and mana potions. There will also be wait a second, mercury. I don't know why the game lags so much right now. I think it may be because I currently have a lot of stuff on my computer, and OBS is kind of tasking my computer with quite a lot of things. So, yes, getting back to what I was talking about, there will also be mercury. Mercury will be the miscellaneous stuff from the alchemy tree, so stuff like the stamina potions, towing potions, antidotes. You will be able to they will only be craftable from once you get access to mercury, and those items like the salt, the mercury, won't be one-time use items, I think. No, they absolutely won't be one-time use items. They will remain with you as well. They won't be consumed by crafting. Oh, that's what I mean, exactly. Now, for a second, I will change the topic, because I've been killing those for quite a while. Those are the hated. Those are the first of the new tainted variants. These ones are actually using the not really well, unused frozen attack, frozen attack of tainted, which I've decided to restore and will give to them, and a couple other variants which will appear in Act 5. Yes, in Act 5. There will also be some variants which use fire, there will be some variants which use poison. Depends on the variant. So, yes, getting back to the alchemy thing for now. There will also be, of course, sulfur, which will allow you to craft combat potions, so stuff like the oil potions, the gas potions, and also I plan to add cold potions and lightning potions, because I think those combat potions were very underutilized in the base game and they deserve to have a bit more, well, fun, a bit more light to shine on them. There will also be other not skill trees, there will be also other crafting trees. For instance, there will be a sorcery tree which will allow you the crafting of scrolls, and not just the town portal scrolls and identification scrolls, but also I plan to add some new scrolls to the game. Like, for instance, there will be on a higher tier of this sorcery crafting, there will be a mercenary resurrection scroll. So instead of paying for resurrecting your mercenary, you can use the resources you find along the way. And there will also be scrolls that will allow you, that will replace the current crafting recipes for like upgrading items, and will instead allow you to craft scrolls for like, for instance, well, not upgrading items as in like from basic to exceptional, but more so from normal to magic, for instance, and from magic to rare. And yes, they will of course be expensive, because I mean that does make sense, because being able to upgrade a magic item from magic to rare is supposed to be expensive, because rares are supposed to be rare, I mean. And of course there won't be any way to upgrade rare items to unique items, because unique items are supposed to be unique. So yeah, I mean it wouldn't really make sense for you to be able to craft those. However, the unique items definitely will have will be able to be upgraded via scrolls, of course. And yes, I do have some plans for those, but I will probably mention those later on once they will start being produced, because right now they're on a conceptual state with some sprites being made, and yes, that's pretty much about it. There will also be a third tree, smithery, which will be for stuff regarding unsocketing items, making sockets in items, and so on, and also some permanent upgrades for your weapons. But they will be, of course, I plan to, of course, correctly balance them, because we don't want to have infinite upgrades to weapons. That would just kind of break the game. Okay, so you may have noticed also the warped ones spawn in here, which I've decided to, well, it can be a bit of a cool thing, because they were spawning back in the very early versions of the game, and I mean, farming some nostalgia is definitely a great way to promote your mod, ain't it? Also, something I've mentioned before, the cadavers now are gray instead of being like, I don't know, light brown, something like this. Back in the day they used to be, I think, at least in my opinion, way too similar to the dried corpses from Act 2, while also not really feeling all that threatening with the color they had. So I decided that, well, I mean, that's kind of the rule in Diablo, mostly in many instances, when the enemy gets like to the grayish, blackish colors, it means that is in fact a higher variant of this enemy. So yes, and I usually follow this rule when it comes to this, where usually when you will see a purple enemy, you may know that, well, he is probably of some high tier variant of said monster. So yes, when it comes to those warp tons, because I was talking about them for a second, they have a bit of a magic resistance, which normally in the game it's not very common. By magic resistance, I will describe this for a second. Oh, he's immune to physical, amazing. What I mean by resistant to magic, I mean the magic damage type, and not like, you know, lightning, cold and fire. because that can get confusing sometimes. And magic damage is like stuff like the blessed hammer, the berserk skill, and like the holy orb. So they do take reduced damage from those, and a couple of others. Now wait a second, let me get rid of this guy because he is kind of a pain. Thankfully I do have Death Sentry on this character now. I decided to spec into it recently, and it's been very, very much amazing. I actually don't need to kill him. I probably should focus more so on the showcase part and not on the farming part, because this character is of course still in the process of, well, getting to higher levels. She's currently at, what was it, this? Level 63, and I've reached the beginning of Act 5 with her recently. So yes, she's still got ways to go. However, unlike the last character, she's a lot more balanced, because now she uses not hell items, not hell weapons, but instead weapons more suited, naturally found for the level she's at. So the current equipment is the Gilded Shredder Greater Talons, which do need a nerf, I know. The Werewolf Slayer Greater Claws, which they don't really need a nerf, I think they're fine. Maybe the Mana Stolen per hit, which actually I need to nerf those in the Gilded Shredder too. However, the other things, and yes, those weapons are supposed to be kind of like a pair weapon, so when you get those two, you're feeling fine, I'd say. I have the Blood Fist gloves, which were upped in the cube. I have a Ethereal Steel Skull, which I also upped. I also have a Hawkmail, which I also upped. Yeah, this is gonna be a tradition, I guess, with those items. Aldous Advance, and also Blade Buckle. And some rings, one for lightning resist, another for magic find, and a amulet for all resistances and magic find. So yes, I need to heal, and yes, I was absolutely buying some time to get rid of this poison. So now we're on the level 2, and let's get back to the whole thing with this. And I really do hope that the Hell Horror Archers spawn here, because they're supposed to spawn here, but I hope we roll them this time, because I really want to show you the revamped colors I added for them, and they thankfully did spawn in here. Now let me get rid of those maulers. They're gonna be a bit of a problem if I don't get rid of them. Of course I'm poisoned, so if you look at those, they look a lot more sick now instead of how they looked before, because the last revamp I did of them, let's be honest, was kind of garbage, because they looked like candy instead of, well, any kind of a threat. And yes, I unfortunately just killed those with the Death Sentry. However, thankfully we do have another one here. So their bones are a lot more dark, and their armor now is like dark blue, which I wanted to go for this kind of dark steel kind of aesthetic, hellish dark steel, something like this. I don't know, I'm just coming up with stuff on while making those monsters. So okay, now that's not exactly the best situation to be in, not to mention that this is literally the only way to get to Durance of Hate level 3. So yes, I need to definitely get rid of this unique pack of them. Not to mention that those Hellhorse Skeleton Archers are not at all a joke. They're actually quite strong, especially with the... I don't know which arrows I actually gave them, but those arrows are definitely one of the stronger ones. So let me get rid of those crushers. Oh crap, of course, lightning enchanted. That is a big problem for my character, who has minus 11 lightning resistance. So super healing potions, let's get those. They're always nice. Okay, so I think I will have to Death Sentry this unique pack. Now, what did I want to talk about in here? Okay. Thankfully, thanks to the Werewolf Slayer, I can... Yes, this needs to be changed. This is way too OP. Well, at least I cannot drain the mana from those skeletons. That's at least something slightly more balanced. Now, is there no other way there? Nope. Well, technically there is. Okay, let's just get through there. Yeah, we can get a closer look at this guy. Yeah, I think it looks cool. I think it looks cool. Tell you... you can write down your opinion in the comments below. The Hated went through a couple of redesigns, by the way. Before they looked a lot more baggy. Now they do have those bluish pixels on some places, but there's not really much I can do about this because I mean those are very precise pal shift things I need to do with them, and it's beyond the level I can really change. So okay, let's do it the fun way. I love Death Sentry, it's so wonderful. Okay, so after sneaking past those guys, I guess we didn't see quite a lot of the monsters I put in here because there were supposed to be also the life stealers, the red phantom variant, which I did revamp the phantoms a bit, because before the phantoms were actually only only attacking you with life stealing damage, but the life stealing damage was overpowered a bit, so I decided to nerf this life stealing damage and give each of those phantoms a bit more, a bit additional elemental damage. So for instance, and this elemental damage is mostly connected to, of course, their colors. So the life stealers, which are red, will have some added fire damage, of course. The life seekers, which are teal, kind of light blue, will have cold damage, and so on, of course. And there is also the third tier of wraiths, which we, from actually one of my last changes, encounter first in Act 2, but they most prominently appear in Act 5. The third variant is actually not really a variant, it's more so just I don't know, species 3, the third species of wraiths are the deaths, which as the name implies are supposed to be the strongest variant of, well, species of those ghostly enemies, and they sure are the strongest because they have mana steal, they have life steal, and they have a bit of elemental damage added on top of this, of course depending on the variant. I'll actually show you the one of those variants that I've added to Act 2 after, well, getting through this place and showing you what spawns in here. Normally there should be a new variant of the Ghoul Lord enemies in here, but for now I've decided to remove him from here for a very simple reason. That reason being that he was simply crashing the game by spawning his zombies. I don't know why, because the settings are the same for each one of those Ghoul Lord variants. However, some of them seem to have problems with crashing the game by spawning their zombies. And it's not, I think it's connected to the place itself and not the tightness of the place where they spawn those zombies, because I did put the Banished who spawn the Hungry Dead in the tower, and they sure do not have any problems whatsoever. They can spawn them infinitely, and they absolutely never crashed my game before. However, the new variant of those Ghoul Lords, which I will just tell you that they are called the Black Magi, which is a name used before used before for the cat mage, one of the cat mage enemies, but I decided to give those names to some of the new Ghoul Lord variants. So instead of making a new monster tree, I decided to just use them as the template for the new Ghoul Lords. So wait a second. Maffer Dragon Hand uses custom color palettes. I don't know if you can see this, because yes, now you can see this. He's kind of okay. He kind of looks Christmassy because of all of this, well, green and red. I wanted to go for a more dragon-like look. However, I mean, it still does look kind of dragonish, I'd say. Although we can call him now Maffer Christmas Hand. So, yes, let's go to the other side, because we do have Wild Voidbringer in here. Now, getting him out of there is kind of a problem normally, but yes, thankfully this time he decided to get outside. He decided to finally touch some grass. So, let me wait for him a bit. He's here. I wanted to show you the custom colors he has, because, I mean, he's the Voidbringer, so let's wait for the poison to wear off. Yes, he has very much like otherworldly colors, where it's like dark blue and purple. I don't know, those colors just, I guess, fit the whole void aesthetic, I'd say, at least for me. Well, the dark blue more so fits the abyssal appearance, but those two things are kind of connected. Nice. A unique trident, which I guess it will sell for quite a lot. So yes, getting back to what I was talking about, I actually have a few notes ready for myself here. Yes, you will see the Black Magi in this episode, because I did prepare them beforehand in the Bloodmoor for us to see, and I will also show you one of the variants of the death ghosts, which the first variant spawns in the Arcane Sanctuary instead of the Spectres. The Spectres have been moved to the Palace Cellar. So there were quite a lot of things moved all around. And there will probably still be, because right now some of those levels are a bit overcrowded in my opinion. I just kind of let myself go with this being my first mod and all, and I kind of forgot about something called feature creep. And now I need to untwist this, but thankfully this will go very, very, very quickly. Definitely the longest part I still have to go through is absolutely level editing. This will take a long time probably, because I mean, it's just kind of hard. It's very much buggy, and I do need it because I want Act 4 to be a lot more cool and not have 5 levels or something like this. Okay, so now we'll have a cool time lapse of me finding Mephisto. Let me just get him here for a nice cinematic fight, and yes, see you in the like 5 minutes. I will speed up in the post-production. Of course, the freaking lightning. Thankfully, I did put a safety portal. Let me put a second one. Okay. Yes, of course. Okay, now that we've beat Mephisto's non-existing bat, we can go to the last few enemies I want to show off. So yes, as a small summary, Act 3 will have most of those monsters I showed off. It will have some stuff relating to alchemy and some stuff related to I think sorcery. Yes, to the sorcery tree. Not to the sorcery skill tree, but to the, what the hell do I even am I talking about? Regarding the sorcery crafting tree, I'd say. I mean, it's not really a usual thing to say, so I guess it's normal that I kind of got it messed up. So, yes, let's jump into the Bloodmore. Okay, now they should be spawning in here. And... wait a second. Yes, here they are. Here they are. Also, I guess we didn't get to see those in the Durance of Hate, although they do have increased chances to spawn. The zombies they spawn, the zombies the Black Magi spawn, are the Nameless Zealots, which are supposed to spawn all throughout the Durance of Hate, and they're supposed to be the bodies that are covering every single room in the Durance of Hate. Because, I mean, Mephisto is known for his affinity to the undead. And it doesn't really make sense that he's collecting all of those bodies in his Durance of Hate and not really doing anything with those. So I've decided that I think it makes sense for those bodies to actually be getting resurrected by Mephisto and be used as just kind of fodder all throughout his Durance of Hate. So, yes, and the Black Magi do spawn them for themselves, because they're supposed to be like the Mephisto's right hand people, not really people, they're more so undead. So, if you look closely, they do have this bluish motif over them, which is supposed to indicate that, I mean, they're connected to Mephisto in some way, because, I mean, you know, Mephisto's whole color thing is supposed to be blue. Well, not really whole color thing, it's more so just his soul stone, but, I mean, you know. And also, one last thing, yes, you've seen this maybe on another one, they have a very cool death animation, which I absolutely did make unintentionally. It just kind of happened. I mean, it does happen quite a lot when you're editing the colors of the monsters. Also, the other thing I wanted to show you, when we go to Arcane Sanctuary, there will be the first death variant, and those aren't the death variants, those are only our Hell Horror Skeleton Archers. So, goodbye. Yes, here they are, the Bound Spirits, who do... they have this... I actually kind of like how they came out. They have this blue bone appearance with teal fiery ethereal fire or something like this. I don't know what exactly is this thing surrounding them. And yes, as I mentioned before, they do life stealing damage, they do mana stealing damage. They're a menace, and yes, they're supposed to be the stronger variant, or the strongest species of ghosts. Not much else to say about those. So yes, I guess that would be about it for this episode. So thank you all for watching, and see you in the next episode. Actually, wait a second, I completely forgot. I was supposed to talk about a bit about Act 4. And for Act 4, currently there are plans to, of course, fill up all of those waypoint slots, because, yes, more levels. That's the main, most important thing I want to do. And right now, well, I'll show you this because it's very unfinished, because currently each of those levels that are currently present in the game are filled to the brim with every possible variant of monsters I want for Act 4. Of course, temporarily. For a very simple reason. I've put a like 15 levels worth of monster variety into the 5 levels that are currently present. So we have like whaling spirits and stuff like this, those are supposed to be phantom variants, which are, well, they're supposed to be one of the weaker ones, which they spawn in massive groups, they do little damage, and they fly very fast, and yes. But we'll get to Act 4 when we get to Act 4, which we get to Act 4 when I finally manage to make new levels and ones that do not crash my game. Because, I mean, this mod is supposed to be kind of, well, fully working. So yes, see you in the next episodes, and hope you liked watching this video. If you liked it, then consider maybe pushing the thumbs up and maybe even subscribing to my channel if you like this sort of content. Now, I don't know about what this roof is doing. I've always seen it do this kind of thing. It's just kind of scrolling through all of the colors of the rainbow. Getting back to the outro of this video. If you liked this video, you can consider looking at my other videos. I also have showcases of the previous acts of this mod, and also I of course plan to do other showcases of this mod. While also I do have some guides if you want to mod the game for yourself, and I do StarCraft content sometimes. Especially currently I'm doing StarCraft on mobile, where I'm, well, as the name suggests, I'm playing through StarCraft on my phone. It's kind of fun actually, it's kind of a challenging run, well, it's pretty much a challenge run actually. And yes, I'm talking way too long. Thank you for watching, see you in the next episodes, bye!